You know I love you, right?
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is number 3, the Infinite One of Classic Records, and I am here with my boy G Squared.
Classic.
And we're here to talk about his new breakout hit, Fall to Greatness, the new EP available from Classic Records at klassikrecords.com. So go cop that joint. So G, I'm sure everybody wants to know, what was your inspiration for Fall to Greatness?
Man, inspiration for Fall to Greatness. It was actually written right around 2010 or 11. Most of it was written at that point. And the inspiration at that time, I was doing an overnight job, so it was very little sleep, lots of energy drinks, liquor, and other influences.
Speaking of late night, and you said sleep deprivation, you do have a track on there called Sleep Deprivation, which is one of my favorites, by the way.
Thank you.
Was that part of the motivation for your...
Yeah, actually, if you look at the song listing for the album, there's probably about maybe 4 or 5 songs that somehow the title relates to sleep. Lack thereof, or just something I was dreaming about. I even did a track, it's on the website, called Dream Chaser. A lot of people gave me feedback on it. That was in that same time period, chasing dreams, really sleepy. So, you know. But,
yeah, I'm sure we all can relate to that at some point. We've all been there, you know, deprived, out late at the club, working, whatever, you know, and you have that moment of inspiration when you're in between the dream world and the real world.
That actual track came from a cat in Detroit, or Kalamazoo, to be more specific, named Sean Kane. I was connected with him through a mutual friend of ours who, shout out to Jamar White, you know, when you check this video out. But that was the mutual friend. He connected us, you know, gave me the beat, and it was history from there, man.
Tell me about Love Track, because that again is your intro track to the world, to let everybody know that you're official and this is G Squared.
Love Track was something I wrote again because with me working overnight, I really couldn't go out and do the things that I've been doing before, like, you know, partying and going to the bars and all this, that, and the third. So I wrote that track solely just to kind of, I don't know, reignite that and just kind of send a shout out to it. That's why the hook is, you know, to the nightlife I love, I wrote you a track. But it really was just I guess a collaboration of all the things that I used to do, some of the things that I still did. I still do them to this point, but not as extreme, you know. So that's kind of what the motivation is behind that one, or what inspired that title and everything in it.
So how long have you been working as an artist? How long have you been on the scene as an artist?
Officially, I mean, since I started picking up a pen and writing stuff down, that would be 10th grade. I even remember what inspired it. It was English class, Mr. Thompson. Never forget him, cool white guy, not a racist. But he had us write poetry, and that's when I realized I kind of had a knack for it. And then from then it was freestyling in the gyms and the cafeteria tables and rapping at parties, and then slowly but surely it just kind of snowballed, you know. Ran into Cap at a gas station. We blinked, and you know, the rest is history. Classic Records was born. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I've always had a love for music. You know, everything from when my mom used to take us to church, used to love to hear the choir sing, to when I was a little kid and they bought me one of those little play guitars. I'd stand in front of the TV and watch Aerosmith and, like, you know, strum away.
I think everybody did that in the 80s, man.
You know,
I think everybody did that, you know?
Yeah.
You said that you freestyle as well. I mean, are you up for challengers?
Oh, all day. I mean, not to disrespect anybody, but anybody who feels, you know, they want to take that route, we sure can do that. I'm all about it. I love it. Love the competitiveness of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's one of the things that set hip hop apart from all the other genres of music, is because that competitive nature. That's what it's bred and that's what it's born from. You know, you don't really hear R&B singers going at it like Neo and R. Kelly. You know, so I mean, I think that's what sets us apart. And I think when we start to lose that, that's when we lose, a core part of what hip hop is. So I'm all about it all day. I mean, let me
Yeah.
see you on the streets.
Who would you say is an artist that people can relate your sound to, or what is your sound?
Man, I would really like people to hear me and not hear me. I would want people to listen to me and probably derive from it something that is more essential to their life, or hear a lyric that I spit and feel that it's related to them more than any other artist. Like I wouldn't want anybody to listen to me and be like, "Oh, that makes me feel the same way that I felt when I listened to a Lupe Fiasco song or
So
something
you
like
want to
that."
be unique. You want your own
Of course,
cosmos.
of course. I think everybody wants that, but I mean, if I had to just say, who my sound would be similar to, I would probably just say people who have influenced me. I mean, I would want to sound, you know, I mean, I love Lupe. I would want to sound something like Lupe, or I would want to be in a bracket like Marshall Mathers or some shit like that. Only because they're really talented in what they do. But for the most part, at the end of the day, when people hear me, I don't want that to be what they get. That's just my personal preference. I would want people to be like, man, G Squared, I heard him. I know that he's just a person. He has flaws. But when I listened to his music, I felt something different. I felt something reflect on me that made me feel some kind of way. And I hate saying that. Hashtag, I won't do it again. Hashtag, let's continue with the interview.
Let's continue with the interview details, sir. As far as the title of the album goes, explain the title of the album, "Fall to Greatness." It's very conceptual.
Uh, really, it was a play on words because like in that time frame, working the overnights, I was a little out of my gourd, but it was a play on words because everybody always seems to say, oh, I'm gonna rise to greatness, or this is like the movie Batman, rise
Hmm.
to greatness, and it actually, and I don't think I've ever told anybody this, so it's funny I'm saying it in an interview, but with my mom, she's really heavy in the church, and in a church aspect of things, music that might be considered worldly music or things like that would be a downfall. And so at the time when I was writing this, I felt like that might have been viewed as a disappointment to some of the people who have known me as children. Not to say that, I've changed in any of my beliefs, but um, with it calling it fall to greatness, I kind of felt like it might be greatness in the eyes of others, but it might be a downfall in the eyes of some.
I can see
So
that.
I took that title and kind of put it that way. But when it all started to write and come together, we did a track called REM, Rapid Eye Movement, and we kind of talked about dreams that we had. And the concept of Fall to Greatness was kind of born out of that dream. So
Oh,
that's why when you listen to it, it kind of seems to have a theme that follows it, and it's not just a random title just plastered onto it. The Fall to Greatness kind of plays a double meaning, meaning that like kind of on a Clark Kent tip, don't sue me, DC. It was just an idea, but it was a kind of on a Clark Kent tip where I arrive here and I got to experience everything that most people grow up experiencing because there are those people who feel like shut-ins and those people who feel like they never really can relate, and in the eyes of other people they are aliens, they are different from us. And I say
hmm.
us like I fit in anyway. But I kind of want to take that approach as well. Like Superman when he fell here, that was his fall to greatness. Like he wouldn't have been great on Krypton. Krypton, he'd just been another dude. But him
Hmm.
falling here is what made him great. So
Okay,
I kind of
okay.
wanted to take that and play with it. That was a long explanation.
And just so everybody knows that the album cover is actually artwork from G Squared. It is his actual artwork. It is copywritten, by the way, but it is his actual artwork.
Yes, it was a doodle I did. It was actually part two of the doodle. It was supposed to be a final copy, but that one came out so good we decided to run with it. Oh, and somebody pointed this out to me. Yes, it was done on notebook paper, but there was a reason for that. It was done on the same notebook that I wrote the songs in, so it had a double purpose. I wanted to keep it all organic and all that.
Well,
Young
yeah,
lady
it just
pointed
gives
that
it
out
its
to me.
own unique feel. So I mean, artwork is artwork.
True, true.
You could have had your daughter do a doodle and still use it if you really wanted to.
Sure, she's sloppy though. I don't know.
Okay, so as we end this interview, what is the last thing you want to leave on everybody's mind when they watch this interview and they listen to your music?
Man, I just want everybody to know I appreciate any and all support. I know that at the end of the day, this is something that we all strive for here at Classic Records, but it's not possible without people like you who are invested and interested in what it is that we have going on. So I appreciate you for that. The other thing I would like you guys to know is expect more, expect better. We are Classic, and just hold on to your earmuffs, man. It's gonna be a rough one.
Okay, well, stay tuned. The next interview we will do, of course, I'm number 3, so I'm going to be behind the scenes, and I don't have a picture on the website. You'll see me when you see me. But the next interview we do will be with Mr. Cap K, CEO of Classic Records, and we will also have an in-depth interview with Mr. Tricity on Diary of a Casual Drinker. If you have not listened to it, look for it. It is there. It is good, and we will see you later.
Shout out Classic.
Classic for life.
# greatest night of my life.
I love you,